start the recording of the session. Okay. It's live now. Bhuvnesh, please let me know when I'll start.
Sure, we can start.
Okay. Ma'am, sir, with your due permission. Okay. Bindale, ma'am. Bhuvnesh, can you please check with ma'am once?
Sure.
Yes. Yes, ma'am is here. Ma'am, can we start?
Yes, yes.
Sir. A hearty good afternoon to all the attendees present in today's launch event. I am Mrs. Shivangi Sinha, Assistant Professor, Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College, Pune, and Faculty Coordinator of Madhyasata, the ADR cell. I extend you all a warm welcome on behalf of the entire university, college, and our cell. We all have gathered today for the launch event of our mediation course, Introduction to Mediation, Theory, Practice, and Skills, which is a collaboration between Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, and Mediator Academy, London. The launch event will be followed by a panel discussion with the speakers of the day. I'm elated to take the opportunity to welcome our guest of honor of today's event, member of the legal fraternity, faculty members, and the students. We are truly grateful to our guest speakers and all the attendees for being the part of this event. I'm equally delighted to welcome Dr. Ujjwala Bindale ma'am, Dean and Principal in charge of Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College, Pune. I request ma'am to welcome our guest and address the gathering for today's launch event and panel discussion. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Shivangi. Good morning and good afternoon to all the dignitaries, guests, students, and all the attendees. I, on behalf of Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College, Pune, welcome you all for today's launch event of our mediation course, Introduction to Mediation, Theory, Practice, and Skills, which is in collaboration with Mediator Academy, London, and very well coordinated by Madam Shivangi Sinha and the team of the students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Honorable Professor Dr. Manikra Salunke Sir, Vice Chancellor Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, under whose dynamic and visionary leadership the institute has established itself as one of the highly acclaimed centers in India for advanced studies and research. Sir has numerous publications to his name in the prestigious journals. Under his guidance, the university has been able to secure a remarkable position in the field of research. Words fall short to describe his accolades and work as an educationalist. Further, I'm delighted to welcome today's guest, Mr. Alec Davis, sir, the co-founder, CEO, Mediator Academy, London, UK. Over the last 20 years, he has worked with the best in the field of mediation and dispute resolution, building a network of global thought leaders in the process. Next, I welcome Sabine Walsh, ma'am, the co-founder, head of curriculum and learning design, Mediator Academy, UK. She left practice as a solicitor to pursue a full-timer career in mediation in 2009. Since then, she has made remarkable achievements in this field. Now, I also welcome Mr. Ankush K. Mehta, sir, partner at one of India's most reputed firms, Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, Mumbai. He holds great expertise in the field of commercial laws and arbitration, domestic as well as international. I also welcome Ms. Kriti Srivastava, an associate in dispute resolution practice at Mumbai office of Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas. Kriti specializes in civil and commercial disputes as well as white-collar crime issues across forums in the country. Now, I take this opportunity to formally introduce you to Bharati Vidyapeeth and New Law College. The institutions of Bharati Vidyapeeth were accorded deemed university status in the year 1996 for its academic excellence. Bharati Vidyapeeth offers programs in innovative and emerging areas. Presently, it has 29 constituent institutions, including 3 research institutes. Bharati Vidyapeeth is multi-campus and multidisciplinary and is catering to the needs of urban and rural students. And it has world-class infrastructure and facilities. Bharati Vidyapeeth has launched several innovative academic programs. It has best teaching learning processes and has entered into national as well as international collaborations. All this has been possible because of Honorable Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib, the founder of Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be university, a visionary who, at the age of 18 years, decided to establish Bharati Vidyapeeth as a distinct educational institution. Today, Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahib is the guiding star for whole of Bharati Vidyapeeth fraternity. The zestful patron of Bharati Vidyapeeth is Professor Dr. Shivajirao Kadam Sir, Chancellor Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be university, member UGC, member NAC, and recently on 6th of May 2021, Sir is conferred with Excellent Contribution to Education Sector Award by CMAI ICT Association of India and Electronics World Communication Awards 2021. And also, Sir is recipient of SFE Lifetime Award 2021 by the Society of Ethnopharmacology India in recognition towards his academic distinctiveness in the field of education. Today, the young and dynamic patron of Bharati Vidyapeeth is Honorable Dr. Vishwajit Kadam Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor Bharati Vidyapeeth, member AICTE, and Honorable State Minister for Cooperation, Marathi Language, Government of Maharashtra. Honorable Sir is an excellent visionary like Sahib and is stepping on the same path of success and is positively carrying forward the torch of Bharati Vidyapeeth to greater heights. Supporting Dr. Vishwajit Kadam Sir is today's chief guest, Professor Dr. Manikrao Salumke Sir, Vice Chancellor Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be a university, who is a disciplinary and a brilliant administrator. Dear all dignitaries and all attendees, under the excellent guidance of our beloved patrons, New Law College Bharati Vidyapeeth has been consistently ranked amongst the top law institutes of India by India Today, Education Post, Outlook, West, The Week, Lawyers Collective, and so on. New Law College has been re-accredited with A+ grade by NAC and has also received Gold Star Award from Bar Council of India on the eve of its Golden Jubilee celebrations. This year, New Law College is the recipient of Best Law College in India for Research and Pedagogy Award by IIRF Education Impact Awards, New Delhi. New Law College has always encouraged the students to take up the field of their interest and to train the students as per the requirement and requirements of the respective fields. The college has started different cells like environmental cell, the Center for Artificial Intelligence and Law, IPR cell, cyber cell, legal aid cell, and many more. One of the cells is the ADR cell, Madhyastata. Madhyastata, the ADR cell, is a student initiative instituted on 1st of August 2019, and since then, it has been working efficiently in training and developing the skills of the student in the field of ADR. The cell has conducted various seminars, webinars, panel discussions, and intra-college competitions, and has even launched a special edition of Journal on Alternative Dispute Resolution in order to promote the research in the field of ADR. The cell also has launched Global Initiative for Alternative Dispute Resolution, a unique integrated platform providing consolidated material in the form of blogs and videos. Today, we have organized this event to launch the course Introduction to Mediation, Theory, Practice and Skills, which is followed up by a panel discussion. It is a combined course of industry-leading practitioners with academic excellence to blend theory, practice, and skills into engaging digital learning experiences. The course contains 35 hours plus of interactive and immersive digital lessons and covers the Bar Council of India's approved core mediation specialization. This course includes video and multimedia lessons with eminent national and international expert faculty alongside practical learning activities with online assessment of competence. This excellent initiative would lead to new career opportunities for the students. I also encourage the students of our university to enroll for this course and get all new and better understanding of one of the profound field of lawyering, that is mediation. Once again, I wholeheartedly welcome all the dignitaries and express my gratitude towards the Mediator Academy on behalf of the entire college and Bharati Vidyapeeth University for this collaboration. And of course, I would also like to extend my best wishes for this tie-up and successful execution of the event. Now, I request Honorable Professor Dr. Manikrao Salunke sir, the Vice Chancellor of Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be university, to address the gathering. So please, thank you so much.
You all, innovative founder as well as CEO, Chief Executive of Mediator Academy London, Mr. Alain David. Ms. Sabine Walsh, co-founder of the same academy, Mr. Ankush Mehta, Ms. Kirti Srivastava, and our new law college, Dr. Ujwala. Fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure to be a part of launching ceremony for mediation course in Mediator Academy London, UK, as our law college, a constituent unit of Mediator. Congratulate both the partners for this particular initiative. Bharati Vidyapeeth has been introduced by Dr. Rendale. Well, just I would like to add few things. University has been ranked at national level in university category consistently for last 5 years. Our university is multi-campus with 29 constituent units located in 8 campuses all over. Owing to the academic excellence, the university in its cycle of accreditation in 2015 was accredited with highest plus grade and accredited council. I'm happy that it is category 1 status by University Grants Commission. Our college, very leading institute of intelligence in the field of legal education. It is a unique educational senior lawyers, corporate professionals, and solicitors are involved in the process of teaching, learning, and ensures quality education. I'm happy to mention that our college is associated and collaborated with renowned universities in India. The college caters to the need of the students to face international challenges and help them in becoming international lawyers. I'm thankful to the Mediator Academy for being a partner program to bring industry lead education, liberalization, globalization, and privatization had changed the world. Several multinationals are involved in business, and sometimes the legal arise due to the legal framework of concern. The matter has to be solved in court long time. So there is a need to have an alternate dispute resolution mechanism. On this basis, at least the mediation course has been designed in collaboration with Mediator Academy, London. These courses and industry leading practitioners, academic excellence to blend theory, practice, and skills into engaging experience, prepare learners for 21st century legal practice. They partner with universities and professional education bodies to bring industry into their digital particular-led professionally accredited and cross-jurisdictional or blended university. The course comprises interactivations, case study, video by simulation, assessment, and expert international faculty. This certificate course includes video and multimedia relations within national as well as national expert faculty, practical activities, and downloadable resources. It will help the lawyers to sharpen their mediation and lawyering skills. Digital certificate provided on completion of the course uses blockchain credentialing technology that enables students to display a verifiable credential on their LinkedIn profile and as well as to provide job market insights. And that this will bring new opportunities for lawyers. It will give lawyers a chance to grow their knowledge, inculcate new skills, and help strengthening job opportunities as mediator opportunities for dispute resolution. I wish grand success and a good for the course. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanya Gandotra, student of Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University, New Law College, Pune, and student member of Madhyasthata, the ADR cell. To take the session forward, we will now be having a panel discussion and a Q&A segment at the end. So the students are requested to drop the queries, if any, in the chat box. Now, I invite Ankush sir to initiate the launch of the course and facilitate the panel discussion. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning to Alit and Sabine. Thank you, Salunkesh sir. Thank you, everyone, for again inviting me. I mean, clearly, well, I'm not bored of seeing my face again and again. So I'm very happy, as such, to be here. I think mediation. I think is a very underrated problem solver, if I may call it as such. It has. I think it's extremely effective. In India and other places, the focus and the effectiveness of mediation has definitely increased aggressively, also over a period of a very, very recent and short time, as also the awareness of its effectiveness. For example, in Singapore, you have the mediation center that has done wonders. And, Alid and Sabine here, I'm sure will also have a lot of data to share with us about how mediation has been an effective tool, for dispute resolution. Being a litigation lawyer myself and, having the benefit of working through matters like litigation, arbitration, and even mediation, I think I can safely say that once you as a lawyer are convinced and are able to convince your client to get into mediation, then, together with the client, you're able to see this whole process through. And what it does, in my view, is two things. One, it comprehensively weeds out the dispute. So, it means, and as an arbitration or a court litigation, you probably have the benefit of only resolving one matter. But in a mediation that, sort of you can get the whole bucket of issues, and you can get that close. Two, I think the animosity between the parties is definitely reduced, especially when you're talking in a family matter where mediation goes a very long way, to sort of sort out things. And thirdly, litigation lawyers may not like it, but it definitely cost effective. So I think with these three things, mediation has a lot of scope. A lot of things can be done online, and online dispute resolution, especially we've seen over the last 18-20 months. And I once again congratulate the college and the academy, for this collaborated effort, and wish you all the best. Sania, you want me to now take on the questions, or what would you want me to do?
Yes, sir. You can move ahead with the questions now.
Okay, thanks. The hot seat of Alid and Sabine, here you go. I think the first question is to Alid. Could you just, first of all, welcome to this, and as I said, thank you for blessing the students with all your time and effort and energy on this. I think it will go a long way, for their understanding, knowledge, and I'm sure we'll also learn a lot from you guys. Alid, the first question is to you. Could you help us with an understanding of what the Mediator Academy is all about?
Absolutely, thank you ever so much, Ankush. It's really great to meet you, and I'll just a brief word of thank you to everyone that has already spoken. I wanted just to pick up on one thing, which was a comment I think Dr. Bendale made about the visionaries behind this institution, and clearly that is something that has filtered through right to the student population, because I have to congratulate Shivangi and all the team from the ADR cell who have really driven this project forward, and are real visionaries themselves. So well done to you all. And from our perspective as an institution that is really passionate about promoting mediation and promoting collaborative ways of resolving disputes, but also just building relationships around the world, which takes me right back to the very beginning of Mediator Academy, which started, as many of these things do, as sort of side projects, labors of love. As a mediator myself at the time, I was very frustrated with the lack of educational resources in the area of mediation. So I set about the task of identifying thought leaders around the world that were either academics, practitioners, people that were respected commentators in the field of mediation. I would persuade them to jump on what was the platform of choice at the time, which was Skype. And I would record an hour-long form video conversation with these incredible, insightful visionaries, and then put them up on a blog and forget about them, because I achieved my aims, which was to satisfy my intellectual curiosity and ask the questions that were most pressing for me to develop my thinking and my skills as a young, ambitious mediator. But little did I know that these videos that were online were being watched by people around the world. And one morning I woke up to an email from a community mediator in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And this gentleman wrote to me a long email thanking me for an interview that he watched with an eminent mediator academic, Ken Cloak from the US. And he said, thank you very much. There is no way I would be able to hop on a plane and go attend a conference in the US and listen to Ken speak. I feel like I've just had an opportunity to listen in on an intimate conversation with one of my mediation heroes, and thank you. And that really was a turning point in Mediator Academy. And I realized at that time, okay, we were able to leverage technology to improve access to education and thought leadership. And that really has been the driver behind Mediator Academy. And we're in a different place right now. We're doing something very different, but the mission is still the same: to improve access to the very best educational content and resources, so that young people around the world, young and old, you're never too old to learn new tricks, but can access the thinking, the skills, to help them become more effective individuals in society, professionals in the legal world, and be world changers, because there are some big challenges ahead. We've got COP26 coming to a close in the UK at the moment, and climate, the challenges of climate, and getting people around the table to talk productively about a conflict or a challenge that will impact everyone, but there are different motivations and drivers. So, you need people with a different set of skills and that can think differently about challenges. And those are the skills, and those are the dispositions that we are trying to foster and nurture through our programs. So Mediator Academy has risen rapidly over the last 2 years, obviously since the pandemic, and particularly our international collaborations, and this is where we are today. So that's a little whistle stop tour of the last 8 years of Mediator Academy. And I can talk, as you can imagine, for a little bit longer if you like, but maybe we'll save that for hopefully an in-person meeting at some stage.
I think thanks for that. That's been extremely insightful, and once again fantastic on the journey so far. Sabine, I had a question for you.
Sure.
I'm going to slightly modify the question with the permission of the organization. One, of course, is that we want an introduction to the faculties, but I think I also want to understand from your experience, since you were a practicing lawyer or solicitor, that in your experience, are all disputes ripe at the inception for mediation, or do they become sort of mediator or mediation ripe if over a period of time? And I'm sure you may have seen this along the way. So I think that practical experience with a little bit about the faculty would be a great insight from you.
Sure, no problem. It's a super question, actually, and there are sort of there are two strands to the answer to that question. And the first is in terms of the concept of ripeness. And I think overall, if you look at the trajectory of the last 10, 20 years, I qualified as a lawyer at least 20 years ago, probably longer, I can't actually remember now. And certainly when I qualified as a lawyer at the time, ADR was still very alternative. Mediation was really only used in family disputes. And my education as a lawyer, I think, included 1 day on mediation as a sort of a box ticking exercise. And I qualified as a lawyer without really understanding what mediation was. And over the last 10, 20 years, that has changed dramatically. And I think in general, the world of disputes is now ripe for mediation for a number of different reasons. Number one, of course, a growth in awareness of alternatives and the need for alternatives. Which to an extent is driven by number two, which is just as the world, particularly of commerce, grows, the number of disputes grows, the number of commercial disputes grows. The courts, certainly in Ireland and in the UK, haven't grown in capacity at the same time. So new and more effective, more cost efficient, and more productive forms of dispute resolution are necessary. You said yourself earlier, mediation gives more than just a resolution or a settlement of the dispute. It often gives a resolution of the conflict. And that is certainly something that is now much more widely recognized. The other thing that I suppose has led to increased ripeness generally of disputes for mediation is regulation. Certainly in my home jurisdiction in Ireland, we have seen after years of campaigning and working on it, the inception of a comprehensive piece of legislation, the Mediation Act, which regulates the process. It puts obligations on lawyers to divert cases into mediation, gives judges powers to do so. Here in the UK, we've seen even in the last 3 months, a strong move towards mandatory mediation for certain types of disputes, endorsed by the Civil Justice Council and by the courts. In India, I'm aware that you have your consumer legislation and there are other new regulatory instruments envisaged to promote mediation. On the global scale, you've got the Singapore Convention. So all of those are driving disputes into mediation and generally creating a momentum towards that kind of process. Going to the more macro level, I suppose, and I'm glad you asked the question around whether all disputes are always ripe for mediation or it takes some time. And the question is, it depends. And I think the answer to many questions in the mediation space is it depends. And some disputes are suitable for mediation from an early stage. Some require a little bit more work. Some need to almost travel to the edge of the cliff into litigation before they are ripe for mediation. But the key in all of that is that you have lawyers who are skilled in recognizing what disputes are ripe for mediation, when disputes are suitable for mediation, what the factors might be to consider, what conversations they might need to have with the people on the other side of the dispute to say, look, shall we refer this case to mediation now? Do we maybe need to do some more exchange of documentation beforehand? You know, are the parties actually able to engage in mediation? So that is one of the topics in the course. And I suppose the overall aim of this program is to equip the lawyers of the future, which are all you guys, and you know, the young lawyers in practice, the ones who are just graduating or about to graduate, to equip them with the skills, with diagnostic skills, if you like, so that when they have a participant come to them and say, hey, I have a conflict, I have a dispute, they can do what a doctor in an emergency department does and say, well, I think you might need some emergency treatment here, like an injunction, but actually, let's try to mediate first. Let's try to deal with this dispute in a slightly more suitable way. So, and I think it's you guys, those lawyers of the future, that are going to really bring about the big change in dispute resolution and in consideration of how suitable disputes are for different processes. So that was a very long answer. Sorry about that.
Absolutely. I think I'll add just one more element here before I take it back to Alec. Is a lot of is a lot of dependency on instinct. You know, a lawyer's instinct on, you know, how your client is going to react or how the other side is going to react. I think that can't be substituted, for anything. Of course, it comes with a lot of experience, a lot of learning, a lot of academics. But I think that element, just taking everyone back to, I don't know if you all remember this movie, Captain Sully, where Tom Hanks is asked, about the landing, and he gives the example that the human element is, what one needs to factor in. So just trying to draw a parallel there, but yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, really good.
I like that.
So Alec, over to you. I think it'd be great to hear about, how, since you conceptualize the journey and then, moving on towards, collaboration. And I think, what the students probably will gain, from the insights, I think will be a great insight from you. So over to you.
Well, absolutely. So, I mean, the journey was, again, one that started in it's sort of like the phoenix rising out of the ashes, the crisis of COVID and the rapid transition to online certainly gave us an unexpected opportunity, to be frank. We created a very short program which was taken up by law students right around the world. And one of the things that we noticed when we were looking at the take-up of this short course that we created called the Mediation for the 21st Century Lawyer, was that there was a hotspot. And the hotspot was Bharati Vidyapith's student population, the ADR cell. I think everyone took that course and completed that course, and the conversation then started. Okay, what are the other opportunities? Which, and you know, the Bar Council of India's announcement at around that time as well gave us an opportunity to work alongside Shivangi to put this program together. You know, what we wanted to do in this program was not just address the mediation. You know, I think Sabina's point just a moment ago about sort of triaging, helping triaging clients to the right, through the right sort of channels, avenues, processes, to get them an outcome that meets as many of their needs as possible, you know, cost efficiency and so on. Even before you get to mediation, you know, even before you start negotiating, you've got to learn how to communicate effectively. You've got to be able to use these really well, because most lawyers can use this really well, but you've got to use these really well. So, you know, we've really thought about the core skills and the core mindsets that are required, you know, through the full life cycle really of a dispute. You know, right at the outset, how do you communicate effectively to really tease out what the issues and concerns that your client's experiencing, not just capture the facts, but there's a lot more that isn't often being said. And how do you tease that out? How do you build that connection, foster that sort of trusting relationship with that person? So we've, you know, incorporated a communication skills module in that, so that the students can really understand the different modalities of communicating effectively, and then how those all feed into the mediation ADR process. So there are lots of skills, and Sabina, maybe you wanted to talk a little bit about the some of the other modules.
Yes, and I'm also aware that I didn't really answer your question yet around the faculty, so I'll weave those two together. I mean, you know, Aled has outlined the inspiration for the program, and I have to really, you know, coming from a common law jurisdiction and from legal practice, I really have to commend the Indian Bar Council for their vision on recognizing the importance of ADR for law students, and for designing this curriculum, because, you know, traditionally lawyers have exhibited a certain amount of resistance to alternative processes. Certainly in Ireland they have, and it's been a journey to get lawyers on board. So I think the Indian Bar Council has really led the way on this, and their curriculum is very broad-ranging and very comprehensive, and I really, you know, want to commend the Bar Council on that. So the curriculum for the course incorporates those key pillars of effective dispute resolution, including, as Alice says, communication skills, the theoretical foundations of mediation, how the process interacts with other processes such as arbitration and litigation and early neutral evaluation, and that spectrum of processes. And then, of course, core mediation skills and also the regulatory framework for mediation, both on an international level and on a local level in India. And in terms of faculty, our criteria when we choose faculty to work with us are that they, well, first of all, they must know their stuff. They must have a good theoretical foundation, but they also need to be working in the space. because the best people to learn from are those who are living and working in the discipline that you want to learn from. And also we tend to choose people who are good communicators and who are inspiring to listen to. So you'll see we have a range of faculty from Ireland, the United Kingdom, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, and some of your local heroes in India, who we've had the great pleasure to meet and to work with over the last couple of years. And they will be, they contribute the Indian content to the course and really focus on what's happening on the ground now in India, which I think is very important. So the faculty are very much practitioners, and students will get a range of different perspectives and experiences and knowledge from throughout the world.
And just to pick up on one point you said, actually, if the vast majority of mediation education, actually, this is what led me. I'll take you back to my my experience as a mediator when I realized that moment when I knew what I didn't know, right? Because the step before that is not knowing what you don't know, which is a dangerous space because you think you know everything. But when you realize, when you hit that, I don't know, I know what I don't know. But when that happens right in the middle of a multi-party mediation, it's not a good look. Okay. So, what I'm referring to there is most mediation training programs teach the process, and they also teach the skills, and there's some other bits and pieces incorporated into that. But the one thing that's missing is the theory that underpins the practice of mediation: conflict theory, dispute resolution theory, mediation theory. And you need that bit, because in a mediation, it can be very unstructured. You never know what's going to happen next. You never know what someone's going to say. So you have to be dynamic, flexible, but you need to have a theory to inform what comes out of your mouth next in a mediation. And the same goes for an advisor. You know, you don't know what your client is going to say next. So you need to really know what the sort of operating system is, so the software runs. You know, the software, the skills, but the operating system is your values, your assumptions, your beliefs. So this program very much incorporates some of the core key concepts of the theoretical underpinnings, so that you've got that to inform your practice, to inform the interventions that you make as a practitioner, when you don't know what's going to happen next, which is pretty much most of the time.
No, absolutely. I just had one thought there, just from my own personal experience, which I thought I should share, that being a lawyer for a client in a mediation process requires a set of skill sets, and being a mediator for two parties requires another set of skill sets.
Correct.
You know, and it's so different because you know, and I mean, I guess you guys know it, so I'm but just wanted to say this, like, I mean, I cannot say it is like carrying coal to Newcastle, as they say that, but I don't want to sort of explain that further. But it's very it's in terms of being there for your client in mediation process, as Alit rightly said, you don't know what's going to happen next, because your client could be frustrated. You probably dragged him out of a court battle and said, you sit in this room and you resolve the problem. He's anyway angry against you, and then the mediator, he or she is doing their own bit and they have no idea what is happening. And then finally 24 or 48 hours later, and but it's an intense 48 hours. You probably have 18 hours a day of mediation, and then you finally land up with the result.
Yes.
So I just thought, I mean, that's something that we've seen often. So again, coming back to it, it's a great initiative. I think I'll take this back to probably Alit or Sabina, whoever is the right place to answer this, in terms of the practical benefits or the outcomes of the course that you think the students will definitely gain and learn.
Do you want to? Sure, yeah. So in terms of practical benefits, and I think that distinction you point out is very important. And this course is very much aimed at students who will be practicing as lawyers and supporting their clients through mediation. So in terms of the practical benefits, they will gain a recognition of the framework for mediation in India, and in what contexts and what types of cases and what types of proceedings they will encounter it. They will gain the key skills even to communicate with their clients to encourage them into mediation in the first place. They will obviously appreciate the key skills and knowledge of the mediation advocate and the mediation lawyer, okay? And of course, there will also be the additional benefit, if I can mention it at this stage, of the fact that the course is recognized by the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, and they will gain a successful completion of the assessment, obviously, because there always has to be assessment. They will gain a foundation level certificate that they can use to join the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators at associate level. And that verifies that they have a good outlined structural, theoretical and procedural knowledge of the mediation process. Do you want to add anything to that?
You're on mute.
Yeah, I think maybe from both of you, I think some war room stories would really help, because I think I really feel, sometimes a student sitting, miles away and having a basic online just sometimes gets the feel of the, if you can share that, that'll be great, and then you can sort of wind down the session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, war room story.
Where to start?
Yeah, where to start? Well,
we've got lots.
I think I'm going to start actually with my very first mediation, because it was a case that it was a case that was a very sensitive case. So the two parties in the mediation worked together for a number of years in for an organization in the UK that was involved in security at different consulates, British consulates around the world. So so they had a very high skill set. There weren't many people that had the skills that these two individuals had. And they had to work in conflict zones, in really high stress, high pressure situations. So they were often, sleeping in small rooms together, and they were good friends. And something happened, and that had a dramatic impact on their working relationship, to the extent that it was no longer possible now to deploy these two individuals to the same consulates, and it had an impact on the wider team, because one of the concepts within conflict, when you've got two people or two groups, two nations in conflict, you close ranks immediately, and then you look for adversaries. Who's going to come onto my team, and who's going to come onto my team, so it becomes very difficult. Anyway, I managed to get these two people into a room, and we started the conversation, and it was very tense discussion. And it surfaced during the conversation that one of the parties in the room, his wife had been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and it transpired that the moment he found it very difficult sharing this information with his colleague, with his close colleague. So he built up the confidence and the courage to sit him down and share it. And in that moment, his colleague said something flippant, which sort of stole the moment. Okay, and he felt that he stole the moment, and he couldn't find the moment didn't arise again. And he held on to so much resentment that it manifested in all sorts of other behaviors. And during that mediation, he shared that information with his colleague. And we had two 45-year-old former servicemen sitting across the table from each other, crying, bawling, tears of regret, tears of pain, and they were consoling each other. And it was just, and that was my first mediation. And I sort of looked up and thought, oh, this is mediation. And of course, that was probably one of the only mediations that I've ever had that's happened as an outcome in such a dramatic way. But I was hooked from that moment, because I realized that without mediation, without creating that safe space and being able to ask those tough questions as a mediator, to tease out the pain and the concerns, that these two people may never have repaired their relationship. So it was that was a real magical moment for me, and I'm sure there are lots of stories like this with other mediators around the world, but I'm sure Sabina's got some other war stories that she might want to share.
Well, I think we need a whole other session for those. But I suppose just a very quick one, and a lot less dramatic and emotional, but in terms of the importance for lawyers of really learning this set of skills they need to support a mediation process. I was mediating a commercial dispute some time ago, and it was sort of related to commercial and employment. And the party on the one side, the claimant, said that she wanted a certain outcome, and her lawyer advised her extensively, you're entitled to this, you're entitled to this, this is fine, the law is on your side. And for some reason, we just couldn't settle the case, and it got very stuck. And at one stage, the lawyer had to leave and do something else for a little while. And the client said to me, look, can I speak to you for a minute? And I said, fine. And she said, look, I know I'm entitled to this remedy. I know I'm entitled to this outcome. And my lawyer keeps advising me to push for it, but I actually want something else. And I said, well, have you said it to your lawyer? And she said, no, he's my lawyer. I don't challenge him. But anyway, long story short, we facilitated a conversation. It turns out the outcome she wanted was actually what the other side wanted as well. And it settled very quickly. And the lawyer had a real moment of realization afterwards. And he said, I was just focused on the law and her rights and entitlements. I never actually asked her what she wanted. I could have saved just a day. And I said, well, it's okay. I got paid for the day. He said, that's fine. But the lesson there is that just sometimes something different is required in mediation.
Absolutely. I think that's great. And I think it's very evident that there is so much of a wealth and depth of experience that, both of you bring. So I think we'll conclude the session, the panel discussion. I'll invite my colleague Bhuvnesh. Is it good for Kriti to go in now?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, thanks. So Kriti is a colleague, and we just thought she'll be the best bridge in terms of still having single digits of years of experience and being closer to the coach. So Kriti, why don't you just share some thoughts of yours about how students you think will benefit?
Thank you, Ankush.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Kriti, you're audible, but I think there's some.
Your voice is quite low.
Can you hear me?
There's some disturbance, and your voice is also quite low.
Kriti, I think you can use Ankush Sir's device.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some issue, network issue.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, Kriti.
Okay, great. Hi, Alan. Hi, Sabine. This is quite a splendid conversation to be a witness of. From I know that I've been told to sort of bridge the gap as Ankush. There are a lot of things that I would have thought that as me studying in law school would, if I would have gotten the opportunity, it would have made a lot of difference. I just happened to speak with a colleague of mine right before this meet of ours, and we were just discussing how different things probably were about 7 to 8 years ago. And suddenly now we have seen a sort of a change in landscape, if I had to call it. At least in India, how things have been for the past about a couple of decades, we've moved to this whole new trend of pursuing ADR over court litigation. While of course court litigation in India is quite a drag on, really. But when we talk about ADR and you speak to anybody who may be familiar with it, it always looks like arbitration has sort of taken the limelight. If the books, the classroom sessions, the discussions that you end up having with colleagues or professionals, when you say ADR, people just think you're talking about arbitration. And it is what, at least in India, we've seen that, and even conversations we've had with other jurisdictional lawyers, it all boils down to like how arbitration is doing in your country, or whether the country is sort of pro arbitration, etc. But what it actually misses is the arbitration. ADR is actually not another word for arbitration. There are a lot of mix of other forms of dispute resolution there, which somehow actually is also something that we didn't have the opportunity to explore in college. Probably, I know that that Shivangi and everybody at Bharati Vidyapith is sort of taking quite a leap and actually doing the best there is, because to be able to explore other methods and actually give the students, the perspective of actually figuring out what it really means to understand what ADR is all about. It's not another word for arbitration, like I said. I do remember that it was always like, when it comes to competitions that students get to partake in, it always would be a trial-based competition. You would always hear moot court competitions where fiercely like sort of gunning to another throat, and like how Alid was saying that you can use your mouth by like yelling at another, but it's really the hearing that people don't really use that often. But I've had actually an opportunity of being a part of the mediation competition as a participant and as a judge to it, and it's a whole different ball game in terms of the skills that you use. It's not advocacy. I mean, of course, there is advocacy angle, but it's not really about the trial. It's not about gunning each other's throat or yelling at them and throwing case laws at them. It's different because you use skills which are more important in terms of communication. It's the listening that's important, and of course, the most important is probably problem-solving skill, which as a lawyer, you probably like how Sabine was saying, one of her war stories were that lawyers are just sort of continuously thinking about how to sort of pitch the right law. But a mediation is going to be a lot different, and it is the skill for communication, listening, and problem solving. Again, I would think that this is something that the probably curriculum and probably moot court competitions are not going to sort of give you the experience. And what I've gone through the course that you offer, and I've obviously heard the lovely interaction that you'd had with Ankush on the panel. I think it is one of the most splendid opportunities that everybody's going to get, whoever's able to sort of get on the bandwagon with you, because this kind of skill and the practice that one gets is most definitely something that not only helps, I would think that not only would help them during the college, but but the idea of being in a law school is obviously you're aiming to become a lawyer, and this would most definitely be a lawyering skill. As speaking to another colleague of mine, we were speaking on a MEDAB clause, which is mediation arbitration clauses, and off lately, I think we seem to be seeing off lately quite a lot of MEDAB clauses. That's become sort of a norm when it comes to putting a dispute resolution clause. As a lawyer, we can't obviously say that we can't assist our client in the mediation process because we probably are not good at it, or we didn't really have courses in while we were sort of studying. But of course, we can help in arbitration because that is something that we vigorously study in college. That's most definitely something that this is your course, and I would think anybody who's sort of interested in knowing that or getting more soft skills, because today I think, and as litigators, we often realize it is slowly becoming a lot about soft skills than just really going at it with the jury or with your counterparties. And I think what the course that you sort of designed is going to be quite splendid with whoever would like to sort of experience.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Over to you, Sanya.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed an incredible and thought-provoking session, and also very interesting stories shared by Alid sir and Sabine ma'am. I would like to thank all the speakers for their great insights on the topic. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you. Now I request the other student representatives of the event, Shubhra and Bhuvnesh, to kindly introduce the audience about the course, the enrollment process, and the other necessary details. Over to you, Shubhra.
Thank you, Sanya. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shubhra Moghe. I'm a student of Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University's New Law College, and also I've been a member of Madhyasthata for 2 years now. I'm here to share some insights about this course. Just give me a moment while I share my screen. This course contains 35 plus hours of interactive multimedia lessons on Bar Council of India recommended subjects. It includes core modules such as conflict and dispute resolution, communication skills, mediation theory, principles and process, mediation practice and skills. This course has multifold benefits for students. It is an amalgamation of international and national expert faculty, focuses on practical learning, and also includes downloadable resources. It also has a blockchain-enabled digital certificate that, upon completion of the course, allows students to display a verifiable credential on their LinkedIn profile.
Shubhra, if you don't mind, sorry to interrupt, can you please change the slide?
So sorry.
It's okay. Please continue.
Upon successful completion, students will also receive a digital badge and would be entitled to join the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. The international faculty involved in this course is Mr. William Bill Wood. Mr. Wood is one of UK's leading commercial mediators, Mediator of the Year 2018, and is ranked #1 in Mediation Circ in 2019 WWL's UK Bar Council Guide. Ms. Jane Player, ma'am is a leading commercial mediator, arbitrator, and adjudicator with expertise in general corporate and contractual claims, fraud and project disputes, including energy, technology, telecoms, IP claims, and media disputes. Mr. Tat Lim, sir, is a lawyer, accredited mediator, and arbitrator with many distinguished institutions and has been mediating a broad spectrum of commercial and public interest disputes for over 15 years. Mr. Geoff Sharp is acknowledged as one of the leading commercial mediators in the world and mediates anywhere up to 100 disputes in a year in various jurisdictions. He is often included in the Who's Who Legal Annual Global Top 10 Mediators, with selection based on an independent survey of both general counsel and private practice lawyers worldwide. The national faculty for this course includes Mr. Yuvraj Samant, who is the founding partner of Law Care Legal Consultants LLP, New Delhi. He's a practicing advocate appearing successfully before the Honorable Supreme Court of India, the Honorable High Courts of Rajasthan, New Delhi, and Uttarakhand. He's a certified mediator and a negotiator. He holds a keen interest and vivid experience in the field of ADR. Mr. Shashank Garg. Mr. Garg is currently working as a partner in Advani & Co. He's a seasoned dispute resolution practitioner, skilled in international commercial arbitration, sports arbitration, construction law arbitration, civil and commercial mediation, and litigation. He often represents clients as a counsel before arbitral tribunals in ad hoc and institutional arbitration. Mr. Subhash Bhutoria, who is a partner designated in L&L Partners. He holds a keen interest in ADR and practices mediation whenever he gets the opportunity. He has contributed his services as a mediator in various prestigious organizations like Hyderabad Arbitration Center, SAMA, Court of Arbitration for Arts, etc. Mr. Ethewal Mendes, Sir has been a practicing litigator for over 30 years, well-versed in trials and litigations, currently involved in international and domestic arbitration, and is an avid campaigner for mediation. Finally, the eligibility for this course. The course is open to all students enrolled in all graduate and postgraduate programs at Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be university. Further, I would like to just give you a quick run through of our course brochure before handing over to Bhuvnesh to continue with the enrollment process. You can also access this brochure on our website, and it includes all the details pertaining to the course. The brochure is available on the website, and how to access it, Bhuvnesh would give you a quick guide. Thank you so much. Over to you, Bhuvnesh.
Thank you so much, Shubhra, for giving an insight about the course. So I'll take up from here and let you all know about how to enroll in this course. I hope my PPT is visible.
Yes, Bhuvnesh.
Yeah.
Yes, please proceed.
So in order to enroll in the course, first you need to go to New Law College Pune's website, that is bvpnlcpune.org. Over there, when you scroll down, there's a tab with the name Madhyastha, the area cell. Over where you have to click on it and you'll be directed to the website of the area cell. On the homepage itself, we have a tab of Introduction to Mediation Theory, Practice and Skills, which is about the course. When you click on it, you get an overview about what exactly the course is. The page tells you about the benefits, the course outcomes, the eligibility criteria, that is all the students who are in the postgraduate or graduate course of Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be university, the fee structure and the registration process. In order to register, first you have to make the payment of fee. The payment of the fee has to be done on the Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be university's fee portal. When you go on the fee portal, you have to select the option of college fee. And over there, you have to add on to your personal details. That is your PRN number, your name, email address, your mobile number, your address, and your postal code and state you belong from. Once you are done with adding your student information, you have to click on the next button, and over there you have to select the college campus details. For that, you have to select the campus as NN1 Pune. Under the college section, you have to select the college as New Law College Pune, and in the faculty/course, you have to select mediation course. Once you're done with that, click on the next button, and you will be transferred to the fee type. And over there, select your year as first, semester as first, type of fee as admission fee, and amount as 11,800. After filling up the fee details, you would be taken up to a personal detail confirmation tab, where you have to check out your detail and make sure that your email ID is correct, since your fee it would be sent to your mail directly. Once you have confirmed the details, select the mode of payment you want to go for, and then fill in the CAPTCHA and agree on the terms and condition and make the payment. Once you're done with the payment, come back to the page of course on the website, and over there is an admission form, which is in form of Google form. In the Google form, you would be asked to fill in your details with regards to your name, your parents' name, and the address, and your gender and date of birth, and blood groups. And the most important thing is that you have to, like when you're filling up the course you're enrolled in, that is a course you're currently studying in the university, and the name of the institution you're currently enrolled in the university. Make sure that you upload the fee receipts, your college ID card, and your passport size image, which has to be not more than 10 MB. And once you have submitted submitted the form, your enrollment process would be done. In case if you have any questions, so like they're having different questions that we are getting on the YouTube channel as such. So I'll direct the question to Alex, sir, Sabrina ma'am, Ankur sir. So shall I start with the questions, sir?
Yes, please do. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Sorry, I was just on the YouTube writing a comment on the. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, really good.
Great. So I'll start with the first question. The question is, would this course be beneficial for the students who are considering an international career in the field of law or mediation as such?
Great question.
Yes, definitely. For a number of reasons. Number one is that while obviously we address the Indian regulatory system, the international highlights of the international development of mediation are covered in the course as well. Plus, you will get perspectives and insights from people working in this space in a range of different jurisdictions. And therefore, you'll get exposure to how mediation is working throughout the world and what you need to know in order to work in mediation, be it in Pune or in Dublin or in London.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, ma'am. The next question is, so most of the students who are in the first years, their concern is, will this course be beneficial for them from the starting of the first year, and how it could be made in a better career progression for them?
I think it's beneficial in a number of different ways, regardless of where you are in your journey as a student. Obviously, the risk for a first-year student following this program is that you might just want to change career and enter the field of alternative dispute resolution as opposed to litigation. So I think it would be beneficial for anyone to study at undergraduate level, wherever you are in terms of your academic journey. What was the other question?
Yeah, in terms of how it'll help career progression. And I mean, really, you can, as a lawyer and a lawyer heading into the 21st century practice, you can't learn this stuff early enough in your career. Because the sooner you learn the spectrum of skills required both to be an effective litigator and an effective ADR lawyer, it becomes embedded in everything you do in your practice. So I would encourage students from first year to their final year to enroll in it. It's never too soon to do so in your legal studies.
I think that's a super answer. And just to, I mentioned earlier when Ankush was facilitating the panel discussion, how you've got your operating system and the software that, if we think about the operating system as your theoretical base, and the software being the skills that you are deploying and utilizing to work with your clients. You know, it's like having an operating system upgrade early on, rather than having an operating system upgrade once all the software is upgraded. Because, you know, if you're trying to run the latest version of Microsoft Windows, whatever that is, but you've got a Microsoft Office, but you've got an old version of an old operating system running, the software isn't going to work as effectively. So it's like an early on future-proofing operating system upgrade.
Thank you so much, sir. There's another question, I guess Ankush sir could answer that well. So the next question that is there is that with regards to the mediation practice as such, what are the soft skills that a student can adopt as such to make sure that when they go for mediation, they could do well in the field of mediation and the dispute resolution can be mechanized pretty well?
I don't think there is only one soft skill. I think there is a lot, but I think one thing that I wanted to say, and probably just a thought here. I think at the end of the day, you know, as a lawyer, your integrity as a lawyer cannot be compromised. You know, it is why people are coming to you to transparently and faithfully resolve an issue for them. You know, and not that you're not, you know, shortchanging them either as a mediator or the lawyer, because at the end of the day, you are not only their lawyer, but their sounding board, and they are venting to you. They are actually coming, you know, to you with all their problems. And, you know, as my dad would say, and, you know, in traditional legal times, we were the conscience keeper of the client, you know, and I think that is something so important that, you know, these things, I mean, I just wanted to leave it with that thought that, you know, your goodwill, your bona fides, ultimately you're an officer of the court. So, you know, these things I think should not change. That would be my take. Sorry, everyone, I have a call at 5. You will have to excuse my, you know, sort of departure from this meeting, but it was just incredibly lovely to interact, and we just hope that I'm quite confident Shivangi will not let us forget each other. So she will definitely, you know, ensure that it's all tied in well. But from my side, again, a big thank you, and you know, look forward to everything, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Your presence was incredible for us, and thank you, Kriti. Thank you for being the part of this launch.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Great. So there is one more further question that is being asked. That is that what are the nuances involved in working as a professional mediator in UK?
Ooh, interesting.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, mediation in the UK is on the cusp of some new changes, I think. The nuances of working as a mediator in the UK, you can work in different fields. So, for example, you could be a commercial mediator, albeit it's the commercial mediation space is an incredibly competitive space. Predominantly, it's dominated by lawyer mediators, so mediators that have got experience, you know, under their belt, practicing in the area of law, be it as solicitors, barristers, and even judges. So the commercial mediation space is a very competitive space. You've then got family mediation, which again, you know, I think it's a competitive space, but there are lots of opportunities for people to get involved in family mediation. You've got workplace employment mediation, where you can get involved in you know, helping organizations manage the different interpersonal employee disputes, and that can be sort of interpersonal, you know, two colleagues, to working, you know, right across an organization, working with teams that are in disputes. It's a slightly different model of a different process, but essentially coming back to the earlier question about skills, all the same skills are really important, regardless of whether you work at the commercial level or at workplace employment level or family. But of course, I think the field is rapidly evolving, and there are new opportunities for people that have skills, knowledge, and abilities that are, alternative dispute resolution focused, working in organizations, being a bit more proactive. So rather than fighting the fires when they emerge, you're working upstream. I'm mixing my metaphors now, but you're working upstream, and you're trying to prevent. So you're working in the area of conflict prevention. Okay, so you may be designing dispute systems in organizations to head off conflict, to avoid conflict, or you may be working on projects that are inherently challenging because there are different parties with competing interests. So you're getting involved more in conflict management, and then of course you've got the when things do blow up, conflict resolution, dispute resolution. So there's an entire sort of industry emerging where you are working right, from this side of conflict design, prevention, right through to conflict resolution.
If I may just add one thing to that, we haven't mentioned just yet, which is very important. You're saying about practicing as a mediator in the UK. The advantage that you guys now are all going to have as a result of developments anyway, and of course as a result of the pandemic, is that the world is now your marketplace and your workplace, and potentially your university. You can study fully online, obviously, like you're doing with us. You can work fully online. You no longer have to get on a plane and fly to somewhere, nice and all as it is to be able to do that. But really, mediation has become such a globalized practice, and some of the biggest, most valuable in terms of monies in dispute, multi-party disputes are happening on Zoom and online, and you can be working with colleagues in Singapore, in London, in Glasgow, in Paris, from wherever you are based. And there are enormous opportunities coming down the tracks for that regard. And that's why even studying online is beneficial, because number one, you become comfortable and familiar with working in that environment, and you now have access to a global network. And I think from my experience in India, and I have a family member in India, so I have a bit of experience. I think you guys are very like we are in Ireland, and you are very good at making connections and networking. And that is, the bit of advice I would give to students, is to use the opportunity, and use the opportunity of the online medium giving you access to the world, to network and form connections and make an impact on people, because really, the world is your oyster from here on in, I think.
Great spot, great answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving such elaborative answers to questions. We'll move to the conclusion of the event. Before that, I would like to let everyone know that the registration for the course starts just after this launch event, and the registration will be open till 30th of November. And after that, from December onwards, we'll start the commencement of the course, right, sir?
Yes.
Right. And if in case anyone has any query with regards to the registration or enrollment process or anything else, they can drop in a mail on madhyastha@gmail.com. That is Madhyasta's email ID. Or they can contact the faculty coordinator or principal in charge, or also as such. Having said that, Sania's over to you
Thank you, Shubhra and Bhuvnesh, for covering everything very comprehensively. And thank you to all the speakers for answering all the questions in detail. Now, moving to the end of today's event, it is my privilege to render the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to today's chief guest, Dr. Manikrao Salunke, Vice Chancellor, Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University. Sir, your eminent presence has indeed made this event a success. A heartfelt thanks to our Dean and Principal in Charge, Dr. Ujjwala Bandale ma'am, for her remarkable presence and constant motivation. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record a special thanks to Mediator Academy, especially to Alex sir and Sabina ma'am, who ensured that everything went smoothly and for making this collaboration a resounding success. A big thank you to Ankush sir and Kriti ma'am for facilitating and moderating the panel discussion impeccably. My next words of gratitude are towards Ms. Shivangi Sinha, Assistant Professor at Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be University, New Law College, Pune, and Faculty Coordinator of Madhyasthata, the ADR cell, for her continuous support and guidance at each and every point. I also thank the university management for their unrelenting support, and all the other invitees, student attendees, and members of legal fraternity who have joined us today. Thank you, and with this, we will end our today's session. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
ever so
everyone.
much. Thank you all.
Thank
Have a wonderful rest of the day and a wonderful weekend. And we look forward to a continued and long-lasting collaboration.
Definitely, sir.
And just on Sabina's point about networking, I think my LinkedIn has just blown up. But please do connect with us both on LinkedIn. And we're always delighted to hear from you. So have a lovely weekend. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Bhuvnesh. Thank you, Shubhra. And thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And congratulations for the well-beginning of this course.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Alex, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Well begun, and very well said everything. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.